Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Join me every week. I release new episodes every Tuesday. Hello. Welcome back, Middlers. Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. This is episode 115. My name is Stephanie. I am the Medium in the Middle. And this week we are talking about my Reiki journey. So I've been getting a lot of questions about this, and I've also been teaching Reiki now for over 2 years. So a lot of my students are now starting their own businesses and starting a Reiki practice. So I want to talk about my journey, and hopefully that can help you in your journey to know that things happen probably a lot slower than we expect. We can see me now and be like, oh wow, I want that, but it has taken me years to get here. So I wanted to share that. I have shared pieces of this story over the podcast piece by piece, but I've never actually said it all together. So that's what we're going to be talking about this week. But I wanted to start this week with a card pull. So I was kind of being called to do a whole episode just using cards and kind of pulling for the energy, similar to other podcasts that do like spirit messages for the month using cards, which I always love to listen to. But I wasn't feeling a whole episode type of vibe, so we're going to do a 3-card pull for you, and I hope this resonates. But I asked, what do the listeners need to know? What do we need guidance on? And I did 2 cards from the Colette Baron Reid Enchanted Map deck, and then 1 card from the Kyle Gray Angel Guide Oracle deck. So let's jump into that first before we get into announcements. So the first card I pulled from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck was card 39, Protecting Treasure. You are always protected and divinely directed. Although this is a time of great risk, know that at the fundamental level you are able to move forward safely and securely. The proverbial nest egg is safe and sound no matter the fluctuations in the world. Guardian angels and other guides are whispering to you, making you aware of their protective presence. Your loyalty is an important theme now. Nurture that which you hold dear. This is a good time to strengthen bonds of friendships and ensure their integrity. If you feel tested right now, know that a true and loyal heart always achieves its aim. Take refuge under an angel's wings. You are not alone and have no need to fear. Embrace your courage. Card 39, Protecting Treasure. The next card I pulled was card 36. And it's funny because I think Archie must have gotten a hold of this card or something, but it's all eaten up. So I don't know what happened to this card, but it looks like puppy teeth. But it wanted to come out today. Card 36, Commitment. A true commitment is a responsibility of the heart, mind, body, and soul. This is a good time to make one. Partnerships formed at this time are harmonious and powerful. The commitment card also indicates the natural evolution of a relationship from its inception to a literal or metaphorical marriage. At the very least, there is a promise of fulfillment in some form. However, you must be conscious of what you're committing to. Be clear about the nature of your commitment and your responsibility to it. Others are more willing to enter into partnerships at this time. Remember that your partnership with spirit and the highest version of your own self will engage the highest self in another. Commitment and protecting treasure. Okay, and then the last card from our little 3-card pull this week is Do the Work from the Kyle Gray Oracle deck. Do the work. If you are wondering whether to move forward or not, this card is a message from your angels to continue on. You might feel that your current situation requires more time and energy than you're able to give, and there's a good chance that you are feeling disheartened or even drained. It's important to know that everything involved in this situation is pivotal to your growth, expansion, and spiritual connection. This card invites you to switch on the lights you have within. It's time to be a star, to rise up, to get behind the wheel and drive the journey of your life. Yes, energy is going to be needed to hustle and push, but every single effort you make will pay off. Right now, you are sending out a signal, and that will create a wave that can lay the foundations for the rest of your life. Ooh, do the work. If you are wondering whether to move forward or not, this card is a message to continue on. Okay. That gives a really good little picture. I hope one or two or all three of those cards resonated with you, maybe helped you out with what you're going through right now. But very interesting. I like it. I like doing a 3-card pull sometimes. It's usually just the right amount of what we need. Also, if you want to see these cards, follow me on Instagram at Medium in the Middle. I always post them so you can see the physical card. Or if you have these decks, go check them out. Or do a little card pull for yourself. Whenever I'm shuffling and asking, I always ask, and my intention is, what do the listeners need? What do we need to know right now? What's some helpful piece of information for now? That's kind of what I'm asking when I'm shuffling the cards. Okay, let's jump into announcements. I have 3 exciting announcements. Exciting announcement number 1, I got a new website. And I'm really excited about it. It's finally up and live and ready to go after months of work. But on that note, and this is kind of part of the lessons of this episode, I want you to know that you can start with nothing. You can start with your own DIY website. I had my own DIY website for over a year and a half, and I literally just threw it together and got it up. It's only now, in the second year of business, that I am updating and paying for a website. So just know you don't need one to start. Just start. I feel like we make so many excuses in life of why we can't start, and a website is a big one. And it's something you need, but you literally just need a booking link to start, and start there. So this is your reminder to start now. Start before you're ready, because don't let a website hold you back. Don't let a logo hold you back. Don't let brand colors hold you back. It will all come. So that's exciting announcement number 1. I'm so excited that I finally did it. I finally invested in it. It was months of work. And I talked about this last week, but announcement number 2 is Mediums in the Mountains. So yes, a medium named Bree is coming to Banff on May 29th this year for a live in-person mediumship reading. So if you want to come to Banff, if you will be in Banff, if you live around Banff, come join us May 29th for Mediums in the Mountains. It is a 2.5-hour event. So you're going to hear me chat a little bit, you're going to hear Bree chat a little bit, and then we're jumping into over an hour and a half of reading the crowd, theater style, just jumping in, seeing who comes up. And these events are always so special. I've made lots of podcasts about group readings, but the messages that come through, Spirit is so smart with what they get us to say. And even though we might only be looking at one person speaking to their loved ones, there's so many other loved ones that are like looping in their message, and everyone leaves with something, even if we don't look at you directly in the eye. It's such a beautiful, beautiful experience. I've fallen in love with group readings, and I'm so happy that I am now hosting my first ever group reading on my own with a medium named Bree. And we can't wait to see you. So if you want to grab a ticket, they are limited. I will keep the links down below in the show notes. You can grab your ticket today. And my last announcement is the February meeting in the middle. So you guys asked for this again, a little practice mediumship circle. We did this last year and it was really fun, and I asked if you wanted it again and I got an overwhelming yes. So on February 19th, we're doing it again. It's 90 minutes. You're going to come in. I'm going to put you in a breakout room with someone. You will practice mediumship on them. They will practice mediumship on you. We're going to talk about it. We're going to give tips and tricks. It's a really, really good workshop. It's a nice space to practice your mediumship gifts. And this is all levels are welcome. I repeat, all levels are welcome. You can be a medium and know your gifts. You can be your first time testing it out. You can just want experience. You can want to connect with someone, but you will be partnered with someone 20 minutes each, and then you switch. I will be in there. I help you out. We talk about a lot of things before and after. It's really, really fun, and you get a community of people that get it. So if you want to join that, also seats are limited. February 19th. It's a Saturday, this meeting in the middle. So that is available, and the link will be down below again in the show notes. Those are all my announcements. Let's jump right into this week's episode. So I want to talk about this because I think it's really important that we hear other people's development journeys when we are thinking about our own journey, when we are thinking about kind of where are we? Is this normal? Are we fast? Are we slow? What are we supposed to be doing? What is our journey? I feel like a lot of things come up when we are developing, and this can be for Reiki, this can be for mediumship, this can be for anything. But I wanted to kind of give my development journey, condense it into one episode, and then put a bow on it and be like, this was mine. Yours can look similar. Yours can look different. Yours can be the same. And it's beautiful because the biggest message here is that your inner knowing, your inner guidance, your hell yes that's inside of you is going to be the driving factor of your development journey. So wherever you are, you will be getting clear yeses and clear nos of what you're supposed to be doing and what you're supposed to be avoiding. So I'm going to tell this story, and I hope it sparks something in you. I hope maybe it makes something make sense for you. But the point of this story is to kind of shed light on other people's developments, journeys, and hopefully it can help you in yours. So my spiritual journey, awakening, whatever you want to say, I would say started in about 2016. That's when I first heard the word Reiki. So I've told this story a lot on the podcast. I met a woman, I was working at Lululemon, and she used to come in on the weekends and sell malas and bracelets, and she was amazing, and I was always just like, you're so cool, I want to talk to you. And on one of those weekends, she just told me that she was a Reiki master, but she's currently not practicing. And I was like, oh, what's a Reiki master? And I was so intrigued by the word Reiki master. I just didn't know what it was, and I was like, I want to be that. So every time she came in, I would try to get a moment to talk to her about what is a Reiki master. And she was always really busy. I was always really busy. And it was always like, oh, like we'll talk next time. And she was only in store like once a month. So this went on for a while. Finally, I realized that Google exists, and I could just Google what a Reiki master was. So I did, and I was like, oh, cool, like, how do I become that? And I started looking for trainings, and I originally found a training that was in Toronto, and it was at this yoga festival, and the training was like $450, and it was 8 hours, like it was all day. And I was like, oh, okay, like maybe I should do that training. But like Toronto was like 2 hours from where I lived, and I started at 8 a.m., so I'd have to like leave my house at 6 a.m., and you guys know I don't do that for anything. So I was like, like that's a long day, and I'd have to drive to Toronto, and I got a hotel, and then that's expensive, and no. So I was like, well, like, okay, this is just the first training that I saw. Maybe I'll just keep looking for trainings. So I started just Googling, and I found one in a town 20 minutes away from me, and it was on a weekend that I just happened to have off, and it was $150. And I was like, oh, like, yes. And the training was 1 day for 6 hours and included lunch. And I thought, wow, it includes lunch. I'm in. So I went to my Reiki level 1 training, and I had no idea what we were doing. I was in a little circle with 6 or 8 people, and we went around, and she kind of said, what's your experience with Reiki? And I said, I have no idea. I don't know what Reiki is. I've never had a Reiki treatment. I'm just here because I like the word Reiki. And I want to pause here in my story because I know this is a lot of people's experience where they'll just hear the word Reiki and it's like you're a dog and your ears go up. You're like, huh? Or you'll hear about it a lot in your realm, or people will be talking about it, or you start to meet Reiki practitioners, or you see the word Reiki. Just all of these things will just start to come up. So it's really interesting. This is why I say Reiki calls your name you will be called to Reiki at the right time. When it starts to come in your realm, when it starts to come in your awareness, that's when you're supposed to know about it. So that's exactly what happened. And I remember I felt really dumb at my training because I was like, I have no idea what this is. And I've never had a session before, and I'm just at this training. I don't know anything. So that is why I'm constantly telling my level 1 students on day 1 of training, if you have no idea why you're here, what you're doing here, what Reiki is, don't worry, because that was me. And the point isn't for you to know anything before the training. The point is that you were just called there. You were like, oh, I meant to be here. I'm being called here for a reason. There's something here for me. There's a little something. That's Reiki calling your name. So that is when I met my Reiki master, Lois. She was an older lady. She was so cute. She just had some photocopied pieces of paper for us. We all sat in a circle and then we practiced. And that was it. It was a very short and sweet training. I went home and I just did everything she told me. I did everything she told me. People were like, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know. I'm doing what Lois told me to do. I'm doing what my sheets of paper told me to do. And I asked everybody if I could practice on them, and everybody let me, and I just was like, cool. So she had a Reiki level 2 being offered a few weeks later, and I was like, well, like, yeah, I should do that. Like, I have some questions, and I don't really know what I'm doing, and I just kind of want more information. And she told us that we get symbols in level 2, and I was like, oh, what are symbols? I was like, I want symbols. So I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up for the level 2. And you guys know I'm always preaching that level 1 and level 2 need to be minimum 21 days apart for a Sui Reiki. Other Reikis are different. Some Reikis do them together, but not us. We need a break in between. So I still remember level 2 was scheduled for 2 weeks later. And Lois was like upset by this. She was like, oh, level 2 is in 2 weeks. It's not supposed to be then. It's supposed to be in 3 weeks. And I was like, oh, Lois, like, why don't you just change it? Like, you can change the date. And she was like, no, the people where we were hosting it was where we had lunch. And she was like, she wanted to do it close together because you're more likely to get people to sign up if it's closer together for both of them. So she's like, it's good for business, but it's not good for Reiki. She's like, we need 3 weeks and it's not 3 weeks. And I was like, oh, but I signed up anyways because I was like, I want to do the training. So anyway, so I did the training with Lois. And then I remember on that weekend, it was like the Friday, and this was in April, I'm pretty sure. We got a crazy ice storm, a crazy ice storm. And like all the trees were frozen and falling over, like the roads were sheets of ice, like you couldn't start your car because they were covered in ice, like this wild ice storm. And Lois didn't drive at the time. So the owner of the restaurant went and picked her up and then brought her there for the training. So I remember still to this day, we got an email from Lois on like Friday night, and she was like, hello, students. Like, I'm very delighted to advise you that the training this week will be canceled due to the snowstorm. I can't drive, and, the person can't come pick me up. And this is perfect because we need 21 days in between anyways, so we will reschedule for a later date. Like, love and light, Lois, like just like the happiest email. And I was laughing because I was like, she said we weren't supposed to do it now. And, Mother Nature got in the way and saved our training from being 2 weeks instead of the 3 weeks it was supposed to be. So finally the Reiki level 2 came, and it was weeks later now. So she was very happy for this. And it ended up being only me and one other person that could do this new date. So it was us, and I think it was a 5-hour training. Again, it included lunch. I came with all these questions. By this time, I had like a list of things, and I was like, this weird thing has been happening, and this weird thing has been happening. And I started to know all these things. And Lois was like, oh, good. And I was like, I need help. And she was like, kind of saying to me, like, this is your own path of development. I can't give you all the answers. And I was like, no, I need answers. I remember I had a list of things that I went to my level 2 being like, and what's this? And why is this happening? And those are all from the previous episodes. If you have been listening to episode 1, that's probably around episode 6 to 10 is all the things that started happening before spirit started coming in. And she was like, yep, like that's part of your development. That's, super cool. So me and this other girl in this training, Lois started talking to us about crystals and using crystals with Reiki. And she mentioned that she does a crystal course. So me and this other woman were like, well, I'll do the crystal course if you want to do it. And she was like, yeah. So Lois decided that she would run the course for both of us. And we were like, okay, great. We picked a weekend and we went there. So leading up to my level 2 and the crystal course, that's when spirit really started to come in. And that's when the first experience of, I think the episode is called The First Time. I can't really remember, but it's somewhere episode 1 to 5. It's one of those where the first time happened. And we were at Joe's house. Then we went to his mom's house looking for the photos and the shoebox. And then I went to Lois. All of that happened the day of my crystal course. So I went to the crystal course and told Lois these experiences. That's when she pulled me those cards. If you want to go back and listen, it's between episode 1 and 6, and it's called The First Time. So essentially, I took my level 2 course. I did this crystal healing course where you learn about crystals. You learn how to attune them to yourself. You learn how to use a pendulum with the crystals. You learn how to use the crystals in healings. It was a really interesting course. I really liked it. And after that, because my first spirit experience just happened, things just went rah, 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 and like high zone. And I always say level 1 is my favorite because it's your initial opening. Level 2, though, is fun and exciting because I find it's another opening, it's another awakening, and it's another time for your intuition to open up and go into high gear or expand or for things to start moving and changing. So it's really, really exciting. So I'm always super excited for level 2 because I was like, I'm excited to see what happens for everybody. I'm excited to see where your gifts go, where your development goes, where your path takes you, like what's next. Like that's all level 2 is the what's next part. And for me, it was a lot of mediumship. So after that, I went to Costa Rica because I was like, I need a change. I need to quit my job and do something. I'm too comfortable. I'm doing the same things all the time. I was working at Lululemon now for like a year and a half, and Lululemon taught me if you do the same things, you get the same results. You need to be uncomfortable. You need to change. You need to get out of your comfort zone. And I was just like, I'm so in my comfort zone. I'm not doing anything. And I was teaching CrossFit at the time, and I just felt like I was kind of wasting time. So I decided I wanted to go on a yoga retreat to find myself. Yoga retreats are expensive. A week is like $3,000. And I was like, oh, but you could do a yoga teacher training for a month for like $4,000 or $5,000. I was like, oh, I get much more return. I could be gone for a month. I could actually do a training. So I didn't really go to become a yoga teacher. I just went because I wanted to be away for a month at some sort of retreat. And this was the cheapest way to do it. So there's a life hack for you. If you ever want a month away, do a month intensive yoga teacher training because it's cheaper than a yoga retreat. And then you get a certification out of it as well. So I went on this month-long yoga retreat in Costa Rica. It was amazing. It was scary. I wanted to travel by myself. It just ticked off a ton of goals for me. And when I was there, I had access to like 30 other women. And I was like, can I practice Reiki on you all? So I started practicing Reiki on all of them. And they all started to have amazing results. The one girl, I did her knee, and as a trade for her to like braid my hair. A few days later, she was like, Steph, my knee's a lot better. And I was like, oh, wow, amazing. She's like, my knee's been hurting me forever. And I was like, so cool. Turns out she ended up like booking a Reiki appointment at the resort to like do her other knee. Cause she's like, you made my right knee feel so good. I needed my left knee to feel good too. So I booked a Reiki session here. And I was like, oh, I could have just done your left knee and you could have braided my hair again. But it was just like I started practicing every night on a different few girls, whoever would let me, and they were all having these really cool experiences. Like, I don't know, I was predicting things and telling them things and things about their energy and their body, and they're like, how do you know this? And I said, I don't know. Like 2 weeks before I came here, I took my level 2, and I'm just practicing and doing what they told me. After I came back from Costa Rica, a lot of things happened in between those few months. And again, if you listened from the beginning, I've told these stories many times, so I'm not going to get into all of that. But it started a really big push for me to, in hindsight, I guess you could say, like, figure out my purpose, live in my purpose, figure out what I want, what I don't want, get really clear on, like, who I am, what I'm doing. And it was super interesting because everything wasn't working out for me at that time. I, like, couldn't get a job, and I talked about how Walmart wouldn't even hire me. I could not get a job anywhere. I remember applying to Walmart, Tim Hortons. I was like, I can't believe no one is calling me back. And it was just a clear sign that I was somewhere that I was not meant to be. So this was a few months after my Reiki level 2, and I decided to move back to Banff. Again, if you want the whole story, go back and listen to the beginning of the podcast. At this time, I was like, oh no, I'm moving away from Lois. And I was very loyal to Lois. Your Reiki master is your teacher. Like you stay with them. And I was like, no, like I need to do my master's with you, Lois, and I'm moving away. And she was like, you know what? Like, I think you're ready. Like, you can do it with someone else. And I was like, no, like I could never. At the same time I was moving to Banff, I had a friend reach out to me being like, hey, Steph, I know you're moving to Banff. I know all these crazy things are happening to you. You know, Spirit just started talking to me and all of these things. She said, connect with this person when you get to Banff and they'll help you out. So I literally was driving to Banff and I remember I messaged this girl being like, hey, like I talk to dead people. I heard you talk to dead people. Do you want to meet and have coffee? And she said yes. So we met up and we had a lot of similarities and it was just like a good conversation, but we're still really different. Anyways, she was like, well, I'm teaching a Reiki master's course in a few weeks if you want to attend it. And I was like, oh. So I like asked Lois and got her permission. She said I was okay and I was ready to do it. And I was like, okay. So I went and I did this course with her again, like a weekend that I had off. It all worked out. While I did learn a lot in the course, it was not the Reiki masters that I needed. And I didn't feel comfortable calling myself a master after that. I didn't use the master symbols. I didn't do anything with it. I just kind of felt like I did it too soon. Again, it was my ego that was just driving me. I wanted to be a master so bad. I pretty much just was like, oh, that felt so wrong. And I rushed it. And now I'm just learning a bunch of lessons. So again, I say this to save you some time, but you also can fully experience this on your own. You need to wait in between your level 2 and your master's. And I kind of learned the hard way and wasted some time and money, but I don't feel like it was a waste because I learned a lot about my ego. I learned a lot about myself. I learned about a lot about what feels aligned and what doesn't. Very, very interesting. So that happened. And then I was practicing Reiki. I was working in Reiki and I just kept developing and learning and finding out things about myself and mediumship and trying to find people I could connect with and trying to find friends. And it all lined up and people started coming into my life and I got the right jobs I was supposed to get. And then a full year later, it was my 30th birthday. And I remember I was like, Lois, I want to do my master's with you because it just feels right that I do it with you. I actually now feel ready. So for my 30th birthday, I'm going to like fly back to Ontario, stay, where she lived, which was where I used to live. I was like, can you please do my master's for me? And she was like, yes. I was like, when I did it last year, it just wasn't right. So we set it all up for me to come back for my birthday. And that was my birthday gift to myself because it is an investment. Your master's, it is quite a lot of money. But it's worth it, and it's meant to be that way for a reason. So I went back and I did this 2-day intensive with Lois, and it was perfect. And it was like what I needed. I felt so good. It felt so aligned. It was everything I wanted to learn and hear. Yeah, after that, I felt confident in calling myself a Reiki master. I felt confident using the Reiki master symbols. And it was funny because I still remember to this day, Lois was like, okay, you have to start teaching. And I was like, Lois, are you crazy? Like, I'm not ready to teach. She's like, no, yes, you are. She's like, you have to start teaching right away. That's the whole point. And I thought to myself, like, no, I could never. She's like, no, like, you're ready. You have to start teaching. And mind you, like, in the 20 plus years Lois has been teaching Reiki, she's only ever mastered 5 students. Because she has to decide that you're ready. She has to see your work. She has to see your commitment. She has to see what you're doing and like kind of accept you into being a master. Also, like, are you committed to pay for it? Are you committed to do the work? Are you practicing? Like, we had to do a lot of Reiki exchanges together. It's a really like relationship building experience where you're learning from someone else. Like, it's a very hand-holding process, which I really like about it. So anyways, I remember her telling me that I had to teach, and I remember thinking like, no, I'm going to wait years before I start teaching. And I think within 6 months, I had like an opportunity to teach with another master where we kind of taught together so I could learn from someone else. The rest is history and you know what's happened, but it was a slow burn, I feel. So like that entire process was over like a year and a half, going through these different trainings, going through these different awakenings and developing and learning things about myself, and things kept expanding and changing. So I know we all want everything now, and we want all the answers now, and we want to do everything as fast as possible. But even if you do try to do things as fast as possible, life will slow you down or stop you or put a door in your way when needed, when they need you to slow down and pause. And now that I've learned that lesson and I've, did masters twice, I always think like, why am I running? What am I rushing to? Like, where can I slow down in life? Because there's a lot of lessons that we can learn along the way. So I'm just here to remind you that, because be very mindful of your ego pushing you. And are you doing this for your ego because you want something? Or are you doing it because it's the right time, it feels aligned? So that's why I always say, when anyone's ever asking me about Reiki level 1, like, oh, should I do it? It's calling my name. I don't know. I always say, if you look at the date and you think, hell yes, this is for me, sign up. It's for you. If you look at the date and you're like, oh, I don't know, I'd have to book it off work. I don't, and then I don't want it, and I'd have to go and do this. Then it's a no. It's a not right now. And a not right now is fine, So you remember, it's a hell yes, it's a hell no, or it's a not right now / pause. That is my Reiki journey wrapped up into one episode. I hope that's helpful. I hope that kind of gives you an outline. On that note, I have a few exciting things for all of my level 2 students. Reiki Masters is coming. It will be coming this year. And if you do want to learn Reiki, if this episode has lit you up and got you excited and realize that Reiki is a hell yes for you, go find a course. Go find one that works for you. Go find a teacher that you like. It will feel right. And I cannot stress this enough. Spend time finding the teacher that is for you. Doesn't have to be me, but spend time to make sure you like your teacher, you resonate with them, you like their teaching style, you like what they're offering, you know that they're going to set you up for success, you know that their training is adequate. There is no standards in Reiki, so anyone can do anything, essentially. And that's definitely not the standards we are trying to uphold. We want these trainings to be inclusive of all the information you need to know. Make sure that you're confident by the end, have all the information that you need from someone who's experienced and working in the field. We want to pass along the good information, but just know that there isn't standards and anyone can do technically anything. So know your teacher, know their history, know what they have done so that you know who you're learning from. It's so important. I've had so many people retake courses with me because they didn't get what they were looking for the first time. So do yourself a favor, look into your teacher, ask them questions, ask them whatever you need. And if it's a hell yes for the date, the time, the training, and the teacher, sign up. So this is my sign to you. If Reiki is calling your name, please answer. It will change your life. Reiki level 1 will change your life. I can really, really highly say that because I know the impact that it can make, the opening in your intuition, the change that you've been looking for. It's so good. So I still have, I think, 2 spots left in the February Reiki level 1. But if that date doesn't work for you, I will be teaching more level 1s this year. All my trainings are held virtually now. We've moved completely virtual. And they're amazing. They're 9 hours over 2 days, super in depth. And I love them. I've had hundreds of students have success with them. I now have students starting their own businesses. And it's amazing to see there is enough for all of us. There's enough room for all of us. There's enough clients for all of us. There's enough healing for all of us. And really, like, level 1's all about you. It starts at home. But this isn't a sales pitch for level 1. This is more a sales pitch for Reiki. And if it's a hell yes, please do it. I promise you it'll change your mind. This is the sign that you needed. You listen to this podcast for a reason. If Reiki is calling your name, dig into it. Look into it. Find out why. So that is my Reiki journey. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you maybe pulled some things that supported you in your own journey with where you are at right now. And again, I say these stories to help and inspire and know that you're not alone, because we need to talk about these things because we're all going through a lot of the same things and we need to know we're not alone. So that is all for this week. Thank you so much for listening, Midlers. As always, if you want to book an appointment with me, I offer distance Reiki, Psych K, or Akashic record readings, all virtually via Zoom. You can book that down below in the show notes. If you are in Banff and want an in-person session, come see me in real life. If you want to sign up for the Meeting in the Middle or Mediums in the Mountains, get a ticket. All the links will be down below in the show notes. And the last thing I will ask is, if you are an iTunes user or Spotify, if you could take a few seconds and leave a review, I would really appreciate it. It helps the podcast grow, and these are always free to you, so a 15-second review would mean the world to me. So thank you to everyone who has already left a review. I appreciate you. That's all from this week, everybody. If you want to stay connected with me, follow me on Instagram at Medium in the Middle. I will see you next Tuesday in your ears. Bye, guys. Have a great week.